Hello, friend. We are in Concord, Massachusetts, and we are on our way to the Little Women House, or also known as the Orchard House. The Orchard House was the home of the Alcotts, most importantly Louisa May Alcott, who was the author of Little Women and other works. What makes this house so special is that she actually wrote Little Women inside of this home, and this is where the story is set. You can go inside of the Orchard House and take a tour of the home where you can see the desk where Louisa May Alcott sat down and wrote Little Women, as well as artwork from her sister that is still there inside of the home till this day. You can also see other remnants and artifacts that are still inside of the home that actually belong to the Alcott family. Unfortunately, videography and photography is not allowed inside of the home, so I was not able to show and to share those experiences with you, but it is truly lovely and magical. One of my favorite things inside of the home was Louisa's sister May's artwork that she actually drew onto the walls themselves that had survived all of this time that you can still see inside of there. Here we have the Little Women garden that you see as you walk inside of the home. The character Jo was based off Louisa herself. We have Meg, who is based off of her sister Anna, who is known for her patience. Beth was based on her sister Beth, who died at a young age. And Amy is based off of her sister May, who is a talented artist and the first woman to have her work displayed at the Paris Salon. As you walk into the home, the first thing that you're greeted with is the admission station as well as a gift shop. Stay tuned to the end of this video to see what I picked up, as well as some photographs of the interior of the home. We are standing just behind the Orchard House where Louisa May Alcott wrote Little Women. We are actually right behind it. There's a little garden and a little path this way, and these are the very woods that were behind the house where she wrote Little Women, which we just went inside and toured, and it was so magical. And we were very surprised to see how many of the original artworks and just things that are in the house that were actually the Alcott families that have survived all these years later. So that is where we are right now. This is the view from behind the Orchard House. As we finished up our tour there, we decided to head on over just down the road to see the Alcott and other writers' grave sites at the Sleepy Hollow Cemetery. We are now entering the Sleepy Hollow Cemetery, where we will find several authors who are actually buried in a close proximity to each other. Something interesting that we learned while visiting the Orchard House is that Louisa May Alcott's family was actually really close friends with Emerson, Thoreau, and the Hawthornes. All of these families were part of the Transcendentalist movement. This is a philosophy that emphasizes the spiritual and the individual. They believed in the inherent goodness of people and nature and believed that society and institutions and religions actually corrupted the purity of an individual. Therefore, believing that people were at their best when they were self-reliant and independent. I encourage you to do more research inside of this philosophy. It's really fascinating. Louisa May Alcott died on March the 6th, 1888. Hello friend, thank you for watching to the end of this video. I got a couple things from the Orchard House gift shop that I wanted to share with you and just kind of talk about the experience there. As you saw in the video, I was not allowed to take any videos inside of the house, but I did get some postcards that have pictures of the interior that I'm going to show and then kind of talk about what we saw in those rooms. So go ahead and grab a cup of coffee, tea, or beverage of choice and let's chat about it. The first postcard I'm going to share with you is just the Orchard House exterior. While we were there, they were actually working on doing some renovations and restorations and doing a preservation type of project. And so they were doing some of that while we were there, but we were still able to enjoy the premises. The next postcard that I'm going to share with you is probably one of my favorite rooms in the house, and that was May Alcott's room. That is Louisa's sister, and she inspired the character Amy, who is the artist in the Little Women story. This is a postcard of her room, and this is one of my favorite rooms because if you look right here, you can barely see it on the postcard, but there were some drawings that were still on the walls, some artwork that she had actually created herself. Right here, and you can't see it here, but on this side of the wall was also a portrait that was drew on the side of the wall. I just thought that was so cool. And also this wallpaper that you see there is original wallpaper that was still there that was able to be recovered. There is a panel that of course had to be replaced due to some damage over the years, but still most of the wallpaper is original in this room. And you will also notice the blue trim on the outside. The reason why that is there is just because she loved the color. Something you have to understand about the Alcott family is that they were very open to, you know, being artistic and being one with nature. On the walls and being very creative like that was very like taboo for the time, and I just love that that has been preserved. And inside of the trunk is a pair of boots that belong to the family as well. So this is probably my favorite room inside of the house. The next room is also one of my favorite rooms, but this is Louisa May Alcott's room. And you can see right there beside of the window is a desk, and that is where she wrote Little Women. Her dad actually had that built for her, and so it's just this little rounded top, and that is where she sat. I literally stood right beside of the desk where she wrote Little Women. Also, you will note on the wall is a painting that her sister May done from Louisa in her room. This is a postcard of a little closer up view of the desk where she sat and where I stood right beside it where she wrote Little Women. A few things I picked up in the gift shop. My children picked out journals and a little stuffed cat, but for my own personal self, I got this little postcard, note card. This was May Alcott's that she painted. This is her barn out still life, and I just thought that was so beautiful and precious. I also picked up this little Louisa May Alcott Orchard House ornament to put on the Christmas tree. I just loved it, and whenever I think of Little Women, I think of the Christmas scene in the opening chapter, and it's just really special. My favorite thing that I purchased was a copy of Little Women, and they actually in the gift shop gave me this little sticker that goes on the inside, so that way you can write from the library of the Orchard House of Little Women. I just wanted to have a special copy that was purchased at the Orchard House, where upstairs from the gift shop she sat at the desk and wrote Little Women. I just think that's so pure and is precious, and hopefully one day my children will grow to appreciate this copy and it will become theirs one day. That is what I purchased from the Orchard House. It was a beautiful and wonderful experience. I knew I would enjoy it, but I definitely enjoyed it more than I thought I would. It was very immersive. I was very surprised by all the things that had stood the test of time that were still there that belong to the Alcott family. If you ever get the chance to go, I highly encourage you, make the stop and visit it, because it is truly a wonderful experience to sit there inside of the room where Louisa May Alcott wrote one of my favorite books, Little Women. So that is all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and like on your way out. And as always, I hope you have a magical day.